Greg Pruitt, one of our legendary running backs from the University of Oklahoma. I'm going to be discussing him today, and I'm going to own up to a mistake that was brought to me by one of my subscribers, Miss Marjorie Anderson. And we're going to talk. That's the reason that this video is being made, is because of the mistake. So it gave me an idea to put a video out on it. I'm your host, the legend, Mike Wilkerson of Sooner Legends Podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. We are so happy to have you. Uh, all this Sooner history stuff and other things. We're at 78 subscribers. So thanks to you all immensely for taking your time out to watch my content that I put out and liking and commenting and subscribing and sharing with your friends. That means the world to us here at Sooner Legends. And of course, this video is being brought to you by Dog's Brew and Beans. He's a former Marine combat vet who is in the coffee industry to bring us the maximum pleasure in our coffee drinking experience. I have a link to his website down in the description, as you will find many different types of coffee, and just too many to mention. But when you order, if you use the promo code Sooner Legends, you will get 10% off your first order plus free shipping. And as soon as your beans are ground or roasted and ground, they will be shipped to you immediately. And also, for every dollar you spend at Devil Dogs Brew and Beans, a portion of the proceeds goes to the Wounded Warrior Project to help out our vets. Salute to you, Devil Dog. Okay, first, mistakes were made. I did a video about Joe Washington couple of days ago, and I had mentioned when they played USC that year that they tied, that Sam Bam Cunningham was on that team. And of course, I was going by my own notes, and somehow the 71 and 73 season did the old intertwine. So Miss Marjorie Anderson, my one of my subscribers who is big into Sooner history, kindly let me know today that it was not Sam Bam Cunningham on that team of 73. So thank you, Marjorie. I appreciate you taking the time to comment and watch my videos. So today we're going to be discussing Greg Pruitt. Uh, Greg come to us from a little from Houston, Texas. If y'all excuse me for a minute. Uh, Greg was recruited by offensive line coach Bill Michael, and Greg attended BC Elmore High School in Houston, Texas. He played for OU from 70 to 72. He was an All American at OU in 71 and 72, and was also Big 8 in 71 and 72. Greg, he ranks third among Sooners all time in career all purpose yards. When Greg's career was over at OU, he had amassed 3,122 yards rushing, 491 yards receiving, 139 yards on punt returns, and 679 yards returning kickoffs. Uh, in 71, he scored in his career, or in total, I'm sorry. In his time at OU, he scored 41 career touchdowns. And in 71, he came in third in the Heisman Trophy vote and second in 72. Of course, he lost in 71 to Nebraska's legendary running back Johnny Rodgers, whom I got to watch, who was a badass running back. So I'm going to try to keep this as non-political as I can because this is part of Greg's history at OU, and it has to do with that time frame in the late 60s and 70s that wasn't so good in the United States. You had desegregation issues, integration issues, but I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about football. But here's where, in my opinion, just my opinion alone, that Greg Pruitt changed the landscape as far as African American athletes in the late 60s and 70s. One being he was one of the first African American All Americans at the University of OU. And while he established himself as Oklahoma's best player, uh, during this time of the 60s and early 70s, the SEC universities had not fully integrated, or I'm sorry, had not fully desegregated their football teams. On the other hand, the Big Eight, which OU was a part of, established itself as the best collegiate football team where an African American could go as a recruit on scholarship and play football. Kind of interesting, ain't it? Because every school in the Big Eight at that time was fully integrated. So a lot of African Americans came to Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, K State. You know the drill. And another thing about Greg, his if if y'all remember right, uh, we tied Alabama in the Blue Bonnet Bowl, and in the '72 Sugar Bowl, we played Auburn, uh, which we won 40-22. Now that's two SEC schools that we played. We tied Bear Bryant, and I can't remember the coach at Auburn, but I do know that that year that we played Auburn, the quarterback was Heisman Trophy winner Pat Sullivan. But after seeing Greg Pruitt and the African American players that we had on our squad at OU at that time, it made the SEC rethink their way of thinking on how to establish their football team and be more competitive in that conference. And so just Greg Pruitt alone, seeing Greg Pruitt and what he did on this helped accelerate the SEC universities to fully integrate their recruiting possibilities for said players, which I think is really cool. And also, Greg was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1999, and there is an NFL rule that is called the Greg Pruitt rule, which all you old Sooner fans like myself know that he went to Cleveland uh, when he graduated. But the Greg Pruitt rule is, and if y'all remember Greg, especially at OU and his early years at Cleveland, he wore what they call tearaway jerseys, which means when the player would go to grab his jersey, it just tore. Well, in 1979, the NFL made the Greg Pruitt rule, which made it illegal to wear tearaway jerseys in the NFL. Pretty cool. And of course, one now this goes back to Marjorie Anderson's comment. Sam Bam Cunningham actually played in the early 70s. And we played USC in 71. Won the game at Norman. I think it was like 33-20. And like I said, they had Sam Bam Cunningham and all those great players at USC. Well, a week to USC coming to Oklahoma, Coach Switzer has Greg Pruitt to wear a T-shirt. On the front it said hello, and on the back it said goodbye. And before practice, etc., Greg was being interviewed by the local news media and what have you. He gets to practice. Coach Switzer looks at Greg and he said, "You know that jersey's going to be on the locker room of every player for USC now, so you better do good," which they did win. So there's my take on Greg Pruitt, and I want to thank Marjorie again for correcting me on one of my videos. So y'all take care. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notification bell and comment because it helps the algorithm of YouTube. And until then, y'all take care. This is the Sooner Legend. We'll see you on the backside.